All right, let's take a look at homework 2. So electric power is to be generated by installing a hydraulic turbine generator at a site 120 meters below the free surface of a large reservoir that can supply water at a rate of 2,400 kilograms per second steadily. Determine the power generation potential. All right. So just visualize if the water is 120 meters up, how much energy is it going to be when it reaches the bottom? Okay. So you can think of it as E mechanical, which is probably all potential, right? And then you can figure out your max power by taking your flow rate and you're multiplying it by your mechanical. Okay, so that's what that problem was asking. Now, consider number 2, consider a river flowing towards a lake at an average velocity of 3 meters per second at this volumetric flow rate, 500 meters cubed per second, at a location 90 meters above the surface. Determine the total mechanical energy of the river per unit mass and the power generation potential. Okay, so again, we're looking for mechanical energy, which is the little e because it's per unit mass. And if you notice, it's got velocity, which is kinetic, and height, which is potential. So you should be able to find that. And then you should be able to find the mass flow rate because you know density of water and you know the volumetric flow rate. And then you can finally use pretty much the equation that we did above to find your potential. All right, problem 3. Basically, this is the first law. Okay, so looking at energy in minus energy out equals the change in energy of the system. Okay, I just wrote it backwards than the notes. Usually I had energy of the system on the left. But this is your fundamental equation. Then plug in your variables and then go ahead and substitute those numbers. Okay. Then I want you to create a computer program where you don't hardwire the numbers. Okay. So what you're going to do is, give me 1 second and I'll show you. Let's go here. Let's find a course. Let's see, is it this one? Sure. It's going to load here. No, that's not the one I wanted, sorry. Let me see. I don't know if I have one right here. Let me see if it's the way I want you to do it. Nope. Okay. So let's go downloads. Nope. All right. Sorry about this. Let me download it right from Blackboard or Brightspace. Oh. So I can show you exactly what I mean, okay? Just bear with me for a few more seconds and I will grab it. Content. Let's see, homework, yeah, perfect. Excel, so I'm in the homework and solutions. I just downloaded Excel example 2. All right, so anytime I ask for a computer program, you can use any program of your choice. However, you got to make sure you have headings. So this is Excel. So I have a heading with my name, problem number, the homework description. I have nomenclature to tell me what these variables in my givens in my solution are. Okay. Then I have my givens, all right, with units. and then I have my solution. Okay. Now, what I mean by not hardwired is, if you notice, my givens, these are all numbers. Okay. But down here, these are equations based on our givens. Okay. So we can actually change, say we change this to 20, and it will change the answers in our solution. Okay. So make sure you have a heading, you have nomenclature, you have givens, and you don't hardwire your program. Okay. Now, if you use MATLAB or Octave or Python, make sure you have your nomenclature, you have units, so put those as comments, and make equations. Don't plug in numbers in your equations. Make those variables. Okay. Then, when you have a graph, okay, a graph. So let's say we do a graph here. Oh, I want to scatter. Where'd they go? Oh, right there. So here's a scatter plot. Okay. And these are not the right ones. So let's select data, add X series. Let's just do this. And then Y series is this. Click OK. Click OK. I will not accept this because your chart title is completely wrong. Okay, so this should be this was height versus time for draining a tank. So you need to be specific. Okay, let me scoot over. And then you also need to label your Y. You should be able to label your, let's see, chart options. Where is it? Here we go. Okay. Labels, number. Not sure where they went here. Oh, sorry. Click this, axis titles. There we go. Okay. And then if you ever need a legend, you could put the legend in, but right now we don't need to. Make sure you label these. So this is H, and this would be meters. And make sure there's a space in between your variable and unit. And this is time, space, second. Okay. And then I'm okay if you put this to the side, because I can open up the Excel file and look. Okay. Now, say you see how this is actually zoomed in on 2.65 and 3. Sometimes Excel will say it might go all the way down to 0 here, and there's a big white space. Well, you need to go ahead and fix these limits so it zooms in on the data. Okay. All right. So homework 2. I hope this makes sense. If you have questions, let me know. Thank you.